morning, and welcome to the Marketing Club. My name is Favor Obasi Ike, and I'm coming to you live and direct on Clubhouse audio to the world to tell you that I found something interesting that I want you to know about. And I use a platform that allows me to supercharge my trends, search, and discovery on Google. Actually, not just Google, Microsoft, Bing, Pinterest, Etsy, Walmart, and I'm not even looking at the board right now. I think I said Pinterest too. And if you think about where these results are coming from, these are great places that you can actually learn, grow, and get to discover what other things, TikTok too, other things that you can actually find. So I did a search and I said, hey, you know what, let's jump in. Hey Candace, good morning. And I said, okay, let me look into this tool and type in marketing because the name of this club is called Marketing Club, right? And I typed on Google marketing and you get different types of results, right? Now, there's a huge difference because now when I search the term marketing, actually, I'm going to do that right now. Let's do that right now. I'm going to duplicate this page. I'm going to write marketing. All right. So when I write the word marketing, it's a very big word. So marketing gives me, ads on ads, of course, Klaviyo, SEMrush, MailChimp, Marketing 360. These are all, things I'm seeing. I'm like, okay, cool. Investopedia. Then what are the four examples of marketing? What is the concept of marketing? What is marketing? Why is it important? What is basic marketing? And then things to know about marketing, the purpose of marketing, skills for marketing, pricing for marketing, principles for marketing. Those are the major pillars that Google gives you before you now start reading different articles. Now, when I go and peel, or if I go back and like pull back the curtain, right? And I now search marketing on a much global scale, I see things like first party data. This is in the last 5 years. First party data has increased 17% year over year. TikTok promotion has increased 11% year over year. VTuber model, I don't know what that is, has increased 13% year over year. AI content has increased 100% year over year. And it was flatline. I'm looking at the graph right now. It was a flat line up until I think it was about 2020, 2022, 23, just in between those times, like it was really low, but it was still coming. And I think even 2020, because I remember in 2020, I still used AI, but it was not as advanced as now. Welcome, Danny. Welcome, John. Welcome to the room. Good morning. This morning. Hey, how are you, John? Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday to you. We are enduring a tropical storm. It's not bad here, and I'm doing a deep dive on SEO, so this is perfect timing.
Thank you so much for being here, John. Hope you guys are okay. Stay safe. Whenever I hear a storm, I'm like, okay, here we go. So I hope all is well. And thank you so much for spending the morning with us here in the Marketing Club. I did a quick search and I typed in marketing to see what in the world are people looking for as far as actual marketing help. And I, went back and I typed in marketing and I saw first party data. So I thought, okay, let me come on Clubhouse and talk about first party data because some people don't know what that is. And it's also good to, let them know so that they can use it. So I'm, going down the list and I figured, okay, let me see how people are thinking about these specific keywords that will help them even increase. Because AI content has increased 100% year over year. Local service ads has increased 45% year over year. Headless CMS is about 3%, so it's still within that top side. AI email, that's a big one. It's literally hit a huge slope at 135% growth year over year. High ticket affiliate marketing, 13%. AI advertising, 132%. TikTok SEO 19%, social media marketing 3%. Wow. And generating leads 6%. So The highest out of them all is AI email. And AI email equals first party data. So just follow me, guys, as I'm going through this, right? Welcome, Liverpool's finest. Good to have you here. Hey, good afternoon. How are you?
Okay, Faber, how are you doing this morning? I hope you're keeping well.
Yes, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you for your time. And Barbara also got in the room. Hey, Barbara, welcome. So, all these keywords I've just mentioned is what the world is searching for in 2024. I'm giving you guys it's like a news report I'm giving you guys today, like as far as marketing, because first party data, a lot of people say, oh yeah, we don't need an email list. Yeah, we don't need to grow one. But when you sell your business, let's say you want to sell your business or exit your business, or you want to scale, merge, whatever it is, right? You want to connect with people faster, right? And when you're selling your business, the assets, one of the assets is your email list. If you don't have an email list, if you don't have first party data, then what is the true valuation of your business? That's the real question about business marketing. Because when you increase your first party data analysis and you use this as a way to build stronger relationships, look at the big companies, Walmart, Target, Amazon, Tesla. If you've interacted with them once in a while, even if it's Kroger, Publix, name it, they probably have your email, first name somewhere, receipts, whatever it is, right? It doesn't have to be, oh, a sign up. You have to have my email and contact. It could just be, hey, you came here, you visit us, we were able to connect, you made a purchase. Thank you for purchasing. We have your information, right? That's first party data. When you go to the mall, you swipe your card, you buy a dress, you buy a suit, you buy cologne, you buy whatever. That's first party data for them, right? So for you, how do you create first party data for your brand? And that's why I said, hey, let me just do a room here, make it quick, because I have a meeting at the top of the hour and I wanted to connect. So, John, Liverpool's finest, anyone can start. What are your thoughts on first party data and how essential is it for your business?
I'll just jump in really quickly, and I'm kind of multitasking, so I'm hearing half of what you're saying. So for me, and I'm not reached a point of selling it yet, but that's something that's considered for the background. So first party data or access to data. So I can just tell you what sponsors and advertisers want most, more than anything else, from me, is they want reach on the radio show. They also want to have rough ideas and numbers of listeners on the podcast, but what they're really most interested in is your email newsletter, your website traffic, and your social media followers. What kind of, not just followers, but what kind of reach do you generate in social media? And search certainly comes into play when your website traffic. So those numbers matter the most for them if they're going to invest in your product or for advertising. So it would make sense for me that for sales purposes, that would make selling the show, for example, that would be paramount as well.
I love that. Yeah, that's spot on because like for you, when they're looking at that, they're asking, oh, hey, downloads, what's your impact score? What's your listen score? That's still first party data for you because that's information you can give them as proof that there's something, that you have that is substantial and also sustainable. Because if you can prove that or can't show that through a third party, because that's where that first party, third party integration comes in, then it also shows that your brand has that experience that is beyond your own first party, I can say, circumference. So when it now goes beyond that, it also creates relativity scores and connections and all those things that come back PR wise to even give you that elevation and that domain authority over time. So that's a good one, John. Appreciate that. That's really good. Liverpool's finest, what you thinking? Do you have that too? What happens in your world?
Actually, to be honest, I'm going to be really honest here. I actually not entirely sure what the concept of is first party data. So this is something that is relatively new to me. So it's not something that I have too much knowledge about. So that's what I will kind of say. So this will be a brand new entire concept for me to actually really learn about. So I appreciate this room. So over to you, Faber.
Thank you, Liverpool's finest. That's good. And I want to also make it very, easy for people too. So when you search for this term, and I'm gonna give you the term on Google so that when you go to it, you can also look at some links and see it because I want it to also relate to us. And actually, I have an article I found. Change the link right now because this is a room to really give you that insight. And then from there, you can use this to really, you know, gain some heavy new concepts. This is something that was done a few. HubSpot did this article, was it 2 years ago? Yeah, 2 years ago, October 21. And this is gonna be really good. And I'm just doing this because I feel like sometimes when there's so many concepts, there's so many things going on, but when I'm able to come and give, ideas like this and to help people understand how it works, where it works, and who it works for, then you can also align it to your own business. And that's how, you know, you can connect the dots because you're connecting with people, right? And these people you're connecting with may have known you before, they may have never heard of you before. And most times, there are more people that have not heard of you than people have heard of you that hear from you. So when you start bridging the gap between the people who don't know you and the people who know you and how they know you, that first party data starts coming into play because you start to acquire information about them because they want to know more about you. So that's a relationship you're both building through interactions with products, services, links, emails, social media, like John was saying, episodes, trailers, things that people are thinking about every day. And you're showing up as a result every day because every other day you're posting content related to their day, and because they're searching in real time, they're looking for information that they can find and actually use. So this is how you can really build your information and your marketing through just giving people information from the jump. So first party data, according to the AI overview, is information that a company collects directly, that's the keyword there, directly, from its customers or users through interactions with their products and services. This data can be collected from a company's website. That's what most people have. An app, so people have that too. So if you have an app, like right now we're on Clubhouse, so first party data for them is, email, contact information. That's first party data. So when you're thinking about selling a company, building a company, connecting with a company, merging with a company, that first party data is going to start playing that role, right? Then from there, physical stores. I give you an example of when you go to a grocery store and you go to a mall, that's first party data for them or other channels that they own. It can include information like transactional data, purchase history, order details, right? Customer feedback, like your telecommunication service, if it's your T-Mobile, your AT&T, or Verizon, whatever it is, right? Internationally, if it's, another network provider, those surveys they ask you, those reviews they ask you for, those feedback forms, that's first party data, right? The website or app interactions, web analytics, that's SEO, right? The topic for this room is first party data, SEO marketing roadmap for businesses. So your first party data for SEO should be web analytics. Can you track analytics? Can you track data? It's one thing to have a website, but it's also another thing to have a website that has data. And then it's another thing to have a website that has data that you can actually convert from data to traffic, to leads, to acquisitions, to sales. There's a difference. So that's where the SEO comes in, because you have to create concepts, even if it's a free ebook, even if it's a free checklist, and it's in form of, let's say, a PDF, and that PDF is connected to your website. That website is going to get a lot of traffic because it has a lot of information. The websites that get the most traffic have the most information. Actually, let me say this. Let me say it like this. The websites that have the most traffic have the most relevant and updated information. Because when you are relevant to a topic of discussion and you're updating based on time, then people trust you more because you care about your information. Because some people write articles, but they never go back and update it. For every one article you publish on your website, you should at least update it like within a week. Let's say you do 3 in a week. For example, for every one that you create a new one for, you should technically update all 3, because all 3 should lead to the new one. So if you're pushing the new one up, you got to push it from somewhere down. When you're lifting other people up, you're pushing them from down up, right? So if you're going to help someone go over a fence, it's because you're going to push them up, right? So if you're not down there pushing your new article up over the fence, then it's not going to be easy for someone to see it on the other side because it's still new, right? But if you're giving, light of the day, because that old one has been there for weeks, it's grown. So it has enough root directory file, it has enough access information, it has a lot of traffic, because that link you've planted on the web is now direct traffic to your website. So when you're looking at direct traffic as first party data, it's allowing you to connect LinkedIn, TikTok, all these platforms. When you look at the analytics on your dashboard, that's first party data for them. I would call it, I don't know if I should call it second party, but it's more so, yeah, I would call it second party, because it's from another source that's taken by your business. Like, it's not really the same. Like, how do I put this? You can get information off LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, and you have all these information pieces, and you're like, yeah, this makes a lot of sense. Let's do it like that. That's analytics. Okay, great. But the platform, the domain, you don't own the domain. You own yours. So you can get first party data on your website analytics dashboard talking about the second party data that you don't own, which is like Facebook, Pinterest, LinkedIn. So when you look at your Google Analytics, when you look at your Google Search Console, when you look at your Matomo Analytics, when you look at your platforms where you're driving data from and you're connecting to social channels, then you can read beyond what Google is telling you, and you can see how socially you're impacting other people. Positively, negatively, it's based on how you show up. So if you're positively impacting people, then that scale has to grow over time. Welcome, patience. So you have to think about your business on a upward scale, so that when you have first party data, that information allows you to connect with people. That's why you have that CRM. That's why companies pay for those things. When you work in corporate, they give you a work email address because they don't want to mix your personal emails with your work emails. So everything is within a server. That's first party data. That's protecting data. Because if anything leaks, that's off a platform. So we have to protect first. That's the rule. Protect first. That's why when you even go live on your website, you need to have a protected HTTPS secure SSL certificate, because when somebody purchases from your website or somebody leaves the information, you are protecting them too. Because if you don't protect yourself, they wouldn't be protected either. So protecting yourself means that you have a secure website that has a padlock. So if somebody comes to your website, they feel secure staying there. If they don't feel secure, it's gonna say on not the dashboard, sorry, the bar, when you look at the search bar, when you key in your URL, it says not secure. And then it has a long line, a long dash. That's why I said dashboard. And then you see the URL, yours. So when you look at that and it's not secure, that's not a good thing. And a lot of businesses don't know that. So that means you have to update. I have a client I was talking to yesterday. We were trying to sort her email because she wasn't receiving emails. And come to find out, because we hadn't had a chance to connect, I realized that her emails were bouncing. I was like, something's wrong here. So we checked everything, only to realize that because we'd updated something in the system, because we're moving servers, it had to deactivate for us to reactivate so that she can receive emails again because of the TXT records or the text records for on the DNS server, which is a domain name server. So in other words, when you protect your emails, when you protect your website, when you protect your connections, then people can learn from you faster. Because when you now have high open rates, high click rates, high engagement rates, high conversion rates, it's because you've protected your first party data. So I hope this helped you today. And I hope you understand what this means because it's new, and I felt like, okay, I want to bring something different today so that, you can see how this can play as a role in your business and how you can consider your business and ask yourself how you're connecting with people consistently. So, first party data wins, because if you don't have that, it's not going to be good. So, welcome, Kendrick. John, Liverpool's finest. What are your thoughts on the topic? Anything? I'd love to hear from you.
I think from the article, what would, and I'm looking for this podcast's point of view, but this really applies to if you're an author, you are a blogger, you're a keynote speaker, whatever it might be, kind of doing any business online. So, what I'm taking from what you're telling me is your podcast or your specific content that you offer for consumption is not first party data. It's everything else it is. Am I correct there?
Say that one more time, John, because I want to get this
Yeah,
correctly.
so many people, and here, and this is something I know you're gonna you've heard too. So many people think their podcast is all the data they need. All that's all the content they have. Uh, what I'm thinking from your conversation is that is not what first party data is. That is your content. Is there a point of clarification for you on that?
Yeah, now I get it. Yeah, that is so true, because people think that if you're on one platform and that one distribution platform is giving you all the data, it's really not. Like, it hit me and I was like, this is not good. And companies know that. I was talking about even yesterday how Google, yeah, you can get 1,000 rows on Google Search Console, but Google is a beast. Google has millions, billions of records, right? So why do you only have 1,000 rows? The reason why is because it's for free. It will not give you everything, compared to like SEO Gets we were talking about last night, where it's 50,000 rows. So because they've dug deeper into the API system. So when you look at your podcast, I would kind of mix it between second and third party, because you're not really, like, organizations own that. Like, when you think about the number of Spotify followers you have, you can only see the number, but you don't know who they are. That's the caveat. You can say, oh, I have 200 podcast Spotify followers. That's what it tells me on my dashboard, but I don't have access to those 200 contacts. Spotify does not give me those contacts. They have them. LinkedIn has the number of subscribers on your newsletter, but you don't have a single contact in email and in name formatting, but LinkedIn does. So when we use those platforms to grow, it's great. But the greater value for your business is when you use those platforms as leverage, as equity, and then incorporate your first party data so that when they're listening to your podcast, when they're seeing you on social, when they're connecting with you online, the people who really want to connect deeper will now leave their own connections with you. Just like when you go to a networking event, you meet people, the ones you want to connect with, you leave your contact card with them. That's first party data because there's an exchange of trust. So that's how I would put it, because it's not all data that you see that is all yours, because it could also be skewed because there are other platforms that also report data. So if you kind of find the median, the average value, and then base it off your emails, your contacts, your like, let's say you're on radio, you're on podcast, and out of those 160 million people, out of those 100 million people, out of those 10 million people, even if it's 100,000 people, you have at least a 1 to 10 percentage, if not more, of that first party data that you can actually contribute to, which can still grow over time, year over year.
That's a great point because, for example, for those who don't know, my radio show is syndicated. We have 116 stations and we broadcast about 44 million combined population. What I have no control over is if radio stations drop me. I'm renting that audience. I can't claim that as first person or first party data because it's not something I own. Once I get them to the podcast, then we have some information. If I get them to sign up for my email newsletter, I've got a lot more information. If I get them to follow me on social media, in particular Facebook, then I've got multiple chances per day to connect with them as consumers of my content. And if I get them to go to my website, that's another score as well. So thanks very much for this favor. Appreciate it.
You're most welcome, John. I love how you summarize that. Yes, that's the goal. Because when we start selling our businesses, scaling our businesses, that's where it is. And even for my podcast, it hit me. I'm like, yeah, we're doing good numbers, but we need to know who these people are. Because if I tell someone to subscribe to my podcast on Apple, that's great. I have a follow, but I don't have a contact. I'm not even in contact. I'm only away by a notification. So I want to be closer, like a message in a bottle. So that's a concept with first party data that can really change the mindset. So thank you so much for that input, John. Liverpool's finest. What about you? I'd be busy, but let me know if you're available. But this was definitely one of the rooms that I wanted to bring to your attention. I don't talk about this much, so I talk about SEO a lot, and I, help businesses protect, earn, and scale their intellectual property with Web 2 and Web 3 technology. In other words, having your domain secured, your HTTPS secured, having your Web 3 secured, because people don't even have a Web 3 domain, because you can actually secure that intellectual property, because a time is coming that your website is going to turn into a digital asset. It is a digital platform. We're in digital, screening, but at some point it's going to be a digital asset. So your asset has to have value, and that value has to have a score. So it's really good, and just podcasting for now. No problem. No problem. Thank you for being here. So I hope you learned something new. Take this information, listen to replay. It's a quick room. And I was like, let me not make this too long, because I want you to really get this information and apply it. Because if you start applying it for your business early, the better it is. Because if someone says, what's the valuation of your company or your business, that's gonna fall heavily in line with your contact, your first party data. It's like it's a 101. If you don't have contacts, let's say you have sales, as a business, you've made purchases and all those things. If you have those people's receipts, their contacts, let's say you have their zip codes, I would even go even further, retarget them and send a message, a package, and say, thank you for, purchasing with us, leave your contact information so we can stay in touch, if you never got a chance to connect with them on email, because those are the things that people miss out. And then you're all over social media trying to find a way to connect. And yet you have the opportunity to tell them, we have an email, we have a community. Nobody ever says no, or tells that. I've never heard, I've never seen, let me put it this way. I've never seen anyone send me an email saying, hey, stop sending me emails about podcasting or about your blogs. Never, because people want to learn, people want to know. So if you're the person they're subscribing to, you're doing a disservice of not telling them. So that's what I got for y'all today. So thank you for listening. Please click the link above. If you want to get on a call with me, click on the purple option, and that will take you to my calendar so we can have a 15-minute call, and we have a 7-day policy. So when we get on the call and you're interested in working with us, within that 7 days you make a decision, and if your decision is yes, then we get started. If the decision is no, we'll archive it, and then if you come back, we have some policies that extend that so that we are really making sure we save your time and our time, because time we don't have. All we have is what we got, what God has given us, and we can use as much as we can to save the world and be as extensive as we can. So thank you, John, Liverpool's Finest, Patience, Kendrick, Mobolaji, Leonard, and Malik. Thank you for joining. Love you all. Have a blessed day, and I'm gonna catch you guys in the clubhouse streets.